So are we going to jump into the first game straight away, Ben?
Let's just jump straight into the first game, Kev. We've got a lot going on today, guys, but the most important thing is, of course, these great games. Major versus Revival coming up right now.
Yeah, this really has been one out of an esports weekend. All around the world, nerds are getting so much money for doing what they love most.
This is a historic weekend in esports, Kev. I think never in the history of video game competition has this much money been given away.
In one weekend.
In one weekend.
That's a very good point. Maybe back in the day, sometimes with Quake, they gave away like insane amounts as well, but that was always one thing.
I don't think there was ever a $2 million Quake tournament.
Well, the Painkiller finals were big too. That was $1 million as well, I believe. But in any case, guys, this is of course legendary. But then we're talking about MOBA, Ben. At the end of the day, we are still casting the NASL, and I'm so excited for our Season 4. And I said before, any of the 4 guys that we still have in our qualifier, I would love to see them in our league. And, well, why don't you just go ahead and introduce our first 2 players?
Yeah, well, I'd be glad to, Kev. Spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom. Zerg player who's been showing us some damn near flawless Zerg versus Terran. It is TSL Revival!
Wow, Clutch is out of a job.
I just wish that the switcher had like one of those buttons for like applause, and he pushes it, and then like.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because then we can also, and on the top side of Cloud Kingdom, the Red Terran representing Mexico and root for root, it's Juan. And then everybody's like, woo!
Ole!
Ole, ole. In all seriousness though, guys, this is a very big game, of course, and it's a very important game. Juan was very confident. I spoke with him a little bit yesterday. These games are not live, but they are as close to live as you can possibly imagine, as they've been played, well, roughly 1 hour ago, Ben?
Yep. Kev and me and Dan and Andre were just playing Dota, and while that was going on, Duran was observing these games. We finished playing Dota, came over here to broadcast. Yep. Before our game ended, by the way, we just walked away. We said, to hell with it. I
have to admit, by the way, guys, MrBitter, quite good in StarCraft, very bad at Dota.
Okay, in fairness, Kevin, how many games of Dota have you played in your life?
I don't know. Including Dota, including Heroes of Newerth, probably 3,000–4,000.
Ask the same question to me.
How many games of Dota have you played in your life?
4.
You're getting the hang of it quite quick. Anyways,
3 games with Tiny and 1 game as Lion, and I was holding it down as Lion. I just want to put that out there.
Well, the laning phase did not really go in your favor, man.
That's okay.
Because I laned with you. So guys, we have Revival over here in the left bottom side of this map. If you guys haven't seen much of Revival in the last few days, this guy has been playing some impeccable StarCraft.
Yep.
Really, really good. Yesterday he was close to being out actually. Well, this has to be quite a detour. He was like, I have gas, man. I heard gas is precious these days, and he wanted to run away, but then the orbital said, nope, you're gonna bring all that gas.
Not gonna happen, little Johnny.
But in any case, guys, Revival was in a tough spot yesterday in the ZVZ, but he turned it around. Of course, ironically enough, that ZVZ was played on Daybreak, so yes, turnarounds are possible, Ben, on Daybreak.
Just about everything's possible on Daybreak, Kev, except a game that lasts less than 10 minutes.
Unless you send your first few links to the base, or a guy leaves because you're MrBitter. No?
That's a good point. That is a good point. One of my favorite ways to get ladder points. Right now we're seeing pretty standard opening on major side of the map. 1 racks, fast expand, double gas follow up, and babysitting those mules like the number Juan boss.
Now, if you guys wonder what kind of style has Revival been playing in the last few days that makes us so excited, well, actually he's been switching it up quite a bit, but something that he's done quite a lot is still the 2-base Muta opening. Just get 6–7 Mutas out, then immediately go up to 4 bases. Of course, he gets a lot of creeps, a lot of queens, barely gets any Zerglings out on the map. He's going to have 4 links out on the map right now, Ben. And of course, I'm excited to see Juan play over here as well, because Juan has been a big, big fan of the MVP style, even though doesn't really look like it right now. Well, he dropped both refineries quite early on, but he's not really mining optimally of them. In any case, if you haven't seen Major play lately, he's a big fan of MVP's max style. Yeah. And I think we're going to see that. Yeah,
he is going Banshee to start, so that is, of course, one of the normal openings that you could use before transitioning into that big max style. And yes, Kevin, I was going to make a point about Revival, but I have no idea what I was going to say. Dang.
About his Muta style?
Yes, about his Muta style. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, actually, Team Dignitas wrote a nice little editorial about how 2-base Muta is becoming prevalent once again as Terran players are being oh so greedy, doing openings just like we're seeing out of Major here. This fast 3 orbital opening. Look how many Marines Major's made, Kevin.
2?
3, actually. But they're not exactly in any sort of position to act as a threat against a Mutalisk opening. Revival's up to 3 bases already, though, which makes me think a little bit less that we're going to be seeing the kind of aggressive 2-base Muta that obviously it's not going to be 2-base Muta if he's got 3 bases, but it makes me feel like it's not going to be an aggressive Mutalisk play. He could still go Spire, but with Evo Chambers going down before the layer, I think it's more and more likely that we're going to see an Infestor-centric style. What the...
Wuhan realizing what's going on the other side of the map, realizing the way that Revival is going to play by just making an insane amount of drones, does not want to bank on the fact that he has to kill a certain amount of drones to still be in this game. And he goes up to 4 bases on the 8-minute mark.
That is a very greedy way to play Terran, Kevin. And I hope for Major's sake that Revival doesn't say to himself, all right, I'm going to make this number of drones, and then from that point on I'm just going to be hyper-aggressive, because it'll be very hard to hold that after going 4 CC before your second barracks.
He's going to follow that with a Viking as well, so he's able to pick up some Overlords. We have 6 Hellions on the map, Ben, and I believe the first Banshee is making his way over here on the south side of this map. So let's see, but he's going to have to kill a lot of drones. Perfect timing on this Spore Crawler. Revival looking sharp as we've seen him all weekend long, or all week long.
And this is so characteristic of his play here. Banshee's going to come back and try to harass some, but we can see Revival's just not making units at all, only making queens, positioning queens, making that little wall off at the front of his natural. He is almost completely unassailable, and now it kind of comes down to Major to try and figure out, well, what do I want to do in this case? We know that he's gone all the way up to 4 command centers already, so clearly his plan involves high economy, but are you kidding me right now, Kevin?
5.
5 command centers. 5,
Ben. Before the 10-minute mark. This is the most economic Terran opening I've ever seen in my life.
This is like a Day 9 Fun Day Monday. Every 2 minutes, build an expansion.
Yeah. And fortunately, Day 9 is not the god of this game, so he won't... there
won't be nukes falling randomly.
He won't what is the name of that spaceship that destroyed everything, the mothership? The Planet Cracker, I think is what they called it. If you guys have enjoyed the Red Bull Lane, I hope you did. I watched it a little bit. I thought it was very fun, but I really do not think that we should put any serious value into the results of that tournament, because Day 9 basically decided who would win the tournament.
All right, the red team is winning. Who thinks that the blue team should win? Here comes 15 nukes around the red team's bases.
The Banshee's still harassing over here on the north side as well. Picked off a couple of drones. Spore Crawler is there. Oh, let's be careful with that Banshee as he takes quite some damage, but it will survive. Revival Ben is just droning up, droning up, droning up. A lot of active creep to us as well. He's going to go up to 4 bases. He does not know about this madness.
He does not. He has no idea, but he is on mini hatcheries. He's making lings. He's also getting baneling speed, Kevin. And whenever I see Zerglings upgrades in baneling speed, I always think the same thing. Oh my god, it could be a big baneling bust. Now, as we see pathogen glands, roach warren, and more hatcheries going down, it looks less and less like that's going to be the case. But I just gotta express, Kevin, this is a prime opportunity for that kind of baneling aggression. If we look at the units tab, there are 15 Marines out on the map, and that is all.
I couldn't agree more. Nice scout by Revival, but he didn't see everything, Ben. He didn't see the additional orbital. That might have actually triggered him to go for some sort of crazy baneling, and now he might actually just delay it. He did spot the insane amount of Rexes. Does he know about the factory that stands over there? Yeah, he saw it, the factory, but that's all he saw. Has no idea if there are actually tanks on the maps or not. Look at this Viking, by the way, Ben. That's a ballsy Viking. This is Tom Cruise on the hunt for a new wife. And he's like, you know what? If I can't get a new wife, I might get an Overlord.
I feel like Tom Cruise is the kind of guy that might be into Overlords.
Like he wants to color with an Overlord. Don't break the Hollywood news over here, Ben. You have to sell those stories for a lot of money. Ben is on the impression that Tom Cruise is gay.
Gay for Overlords.
Ah, just for Ovies?
Yes.
Not for Brad Pitt?
No. Not for Brad Pitt.
Matt Damon?
Maybe Matt Damon. Mark Wahlberg.
MrBitter?
Definitely MrBitter.
Well, I see that working out great. Well, as you see, 10 banings being morphed right now. Revival is starting to produce a...
This Banshee has a death wish. She's just like, hey, what's up, infestors?
I'm quite low on HP and I killed 9 of your guys, but... Hey, just checking.
Thanks for being peaceful.
2-2 is on the way for Revival as he's, of course, upgrading from the double evolution chamber. This is so many active creep to his Ben, and he has high ground vision. Juan, of course, as he opened up so economic, he's going to be in a lot of trouble soon because the entire map is going to be covered in creep.
Yep, nice creep spread, nice economic situation here for Revival. Doesn't have to make any more drones for the rest of the game. He never built a Spire, Kevin, which tells us that he wants to play Ultralisks when he gets to Hive.
And of course, that's going to make creep spread extra important.
Yes, sir. More mobility, more speed, more destruction. Now, sticking with the theme of the day, Major throws down yet another command center just outside of his third base.
Well, that's not even news anymore, man, as he already has 6 of those. I mean, Major is basically sort of still playing the same style with a lot of command centers. He just didn't open up the way that he normally does with either really a lot of Hellions. Like, Major is a big fan of Blue Flame Hellions, guys, if you don't know that yet. And by the way, he's going to have trouble killing all the Plutonians in time for the scan. Well, fortunately, Marines do shoot pretty fast. He's going to move out right now as his army is starting to get sort of scary. Spire is on the way as well, and of course that Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. Revival's going to have to make some more units though. Of course he cannot afford to die before those Ultras are out. Yeah,
Revival's just going to wait until 3-3, wait until his Hive Tech kicks in. And Major's going to try to hit that pre-Hive timing right now. He's also trying to drop around the back of the main base or even the back of the third base. Spore Crawler though will kill the Medevac.
A little bit sloppy as we have the big engagement right now. All the Zerglings and Banelings are rolling in.
And they're all going to kill the tanks, which means that Revival either has to have the best infestors in the world or...
And now, Ben, these Marines in the main base are going to be a serious problem as well.
Revival's just went from 200 supply to 130. Major went from 200 supply to 178. And this game is quickly becoming silly as it's just no rush, 15 minutes, and then the two armies A-move. Lots of damage, as you said, Kev, being taken over here in the main base. That Medevac was killed, but Marines stick around for a long time.
Reinforcements are coming in for Major, though, and I don't think that Revival is going to have enough to hold. He's only on 4 bases. Yes, it's 5th base in the right bottom side of the map, but that will never really come into play. These are the reinforcements. Major's going up to 4 bases right now. 5 Ultras are on the way, Ben, but you know how long it takes before 5 Ultras spawn. And a bigger problem is there are already some Marauders in the mix. Yep. A lot of them died, but we still have 6 of them.
Some Marauders, some tanks, and lots of Medevacs. Revival's going to need some Dream Fungals, Kevin, if he's going to hold here. And the first one, not a Dream Fungal, only hitting 3 bio units.
It's a 1 Dream Fungal.
Yes, it is, in fact.
Here come the Ultras though, so Revival, if you're going to try to ever make a hold, it's probably going to have to be right now.
He's going to go before his upgrades finish. Marines are going to clump up right in front of those tanks, try and buy enough time for those tanks to unload. More reinforcements are going to stream in. This time the Marauder saturation a little bit higher, and those Ultras are forced back.
Revival, this did definitely not go your way as he's going to lose that Ultra as well. He's going to try to drop some more Fungals, but great first game over here by Major. And Major is going to take the man out, at least in the first map, who was on fire in the previous days.
Denzel going down here in game number 1. Third hatchery. Not dead yet, but it's definitely looking like it will be shortly as more Marauders, Marines, and Siege Tanks just stream into this expansion. And Revival, his seemingly invulnerable style, does have a vulnerability, Kevin. It's 5 command center in 10 minutes.
A couple of more links are going to stream in, but it's just a little too late. How do you say it, Ben? $1 for trying or something?
We could give Revival $1 for trying, but I think it would be a day late.
A day late and $1 short?
Yeah. Yes.
That sounds pretty cool, man. Could you put that in a song? And then like you rhyme it with Silver Lining? I'm sure that would make our sound guy very happy.
I wanted to buy some potato chips, but I was a day late and $1 short. What do you want me to rhyme it with? What's
the silver lining in that story?
But this cloud had a silver lining, as instead I bought some tortillas. Well, it sure does. Major's playing. He's from Mexico.
Maybe the silver lining in that story is that you won't get the potato chip, so you'll stay in good shape.
No, man, not gonna happen.
Why not?
Because I mean, I'm destined to be a fat man.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking to general. Revival refuses to leave this game for now, Ben, as he's still on 74 supply, but his army supply is 36 against 126. And guys, Revival has been dead serious about this qualifier. Every single day he's been here on time and he's played fantastic StarCraft. Just now in the first game, as you said, it was kind of a let's no rush 15 minutes game, a little bit of bench harassment, that was about it. Then one big fight and it just went terrible for Revival.
Yeah. It definitely did not go his way. And he was just Major hitting at a great time. Revival was trying to get those Ultras out. There's the GG. But they were still in production when Major came with his attack. 4 Ultralisks, that's like 30 supply almost. that he didn't have. So it was a 200 supply Terran army against a 170 supply Zerg army.
Yeah, not to mention the banelings, which you also pointed out, crashed into the tanks rather than in the bio units. If he would have crashed a lot of those Marines, there were quite some Marauders as well, soaking up damage. Of course, there were good splits by a Major as well. But if those Marines would have died to the banelings, then it would have been a little bit easier for revival.
Certainly.
It would have taken longer for Major to actually really make the steps and put serious pressure on that base.
Revival's banelings were significantly less cost effective than the banelings we saw from Moon recently.
In one of the videos?
Yeah, Moon using 2 banelings to kill about 40 Marines. Revival using about 40 banelings to kill about 2 siege tanks.
It's funny as well how Moon, I read this once on either Team Liquid or Reddit, I'm not sure, but it's funny how Moon went from like the player who was the worst ever with Detonator, with Burrow Banelings,
so
as he completely missed that one.
On Steps of War.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Steps of War, it was that other weird map, the two-player map.
I'm almost positive it was Steps.
Oh, I thought it was the two-player map, which has the destructible rocks in the back and the natural on the low ground. I always forget the name of that map.
You're thinking about, no, it was that green map, Jungle Basin.
Jungle Basin is the name of the map. I think it wasn't
actually, it might have been Jungle Basin.
Yes, but that's how it started, and after that, Moon made some sick moves with Burrow Banelings on Shakuras and whatnot.